Hey, so did you see, what do you know about that Yankees game yesterday? I mean, that was...
Oh, my God, what a marathon. I actually was sitting there watching it. Clemens started that game, and he got roughed up early, and then the Yankees came back and tied it at 5, and then it was just all she wrote. Let's play a nice marathon, and that's the type of games that world champions win. And you get into the 17th inning, and you scratch out a run, and you go home happy, and then you got to turn right around and come back and do it the next day. That's the great part about baseball.
Oh, and they got to play the Bo Sox today, who they haven't been doing all that well against.
No, but you know what? Everybody's having fun beating on the Yankees right now. But once Bernie Williams comes back, and once the Yankees hit their stride, then we got to start chasing them again. So right now, everybody's having some fun. Toronto is just playing great baseball right now. They're I don't know. Buck Martinez, former baseball analyst here at ESPN, is doing a tremendous job with some great young talent and some young pitchers that nobody thought, including myself, that would do anything this year, and they've been great. What
about Boston? I mean, I got to give credit where credit's due. I mean, they're missing 2 key players, and they're still kicking ass.
No, you know what? Jimmy Williams and Joe Kerrigan, the pitching coach, do not get enough credit. I bagged on these guys early. Beth can stick this in my face because I was saying, Nomo and Castillo and Oka and everybody else, besides Pedro, I didn't think we were going to do anything. And these guys have been stellar. They have been absolutely spectacular, and the bullpen, as usual, they have a very good bullpen, and Derek Lowe's going through a little bit of a rough time right now. But you got Rod Beck, who's got close to 300 saves out there that can step right in and do the job. So that's a luxury that most teams don't have, where you have a lot of veterans in the bullpen. And the Red Sox are just solid. I mean, they're solid, and you don't even have your best player, Nomar Garciaparra, who's not expected back to the All-Star break. And if you kick butt until that time, I'll tell you what, these guys are going to the playoffs again.
Well, Rob, just hold on a second. Last week we were talking about the longest game in the history of baseball. It was a minor league game, and what was it, 30 innings or something like that?
It was a Pawtucket Red Sox game. I can't remember how many innings it was.
Oh, God, every one of those has to be long.
Yeah.
I'm sure.
Yeah, but didn't
I know. And I want to take a ride in your Porsche, but we'll get to that later.
Oh, okay.
Let's hold a second. I was curious. Yeah, I want to ask you about that in a second. What's the longest game you have ever played in?
I would have to say about 18 or 19 innings.
Oof.
Wow.
And, it felt like a doubleheader. And, we ended up losing that ball game. But, when you think about stuff like that, you try at the end of the game, as a pitcher, if you know what, we got like a day game the next day, in the back of your mind, you're like, you know what, if it's 2-0 on the hitter, I'm just going to lay a fastball in there and let the guy put it in play. I mean, you actually try to make things happen and try to, make your breaks instead of just, a normal game, you try to strike that guy out and pitch around him. But you know what? In the extra inning game, you're just like, hey, I want to get the heck out of here because we got 160 more of these bad boys.
Do you ever almost run out of pitchers in games like that?
All the time.
Yeah.
All the time, Beth. I mean, and you always know that there's other guys who pitched in college, like your right fielder, Paul O'Neill, who he pitched in college. He came in a bunch of games when he was back with the Reds, and actually hurt his arm in a game. I mean, he used to have a much better arm than he has now. He hurt his arm in a game in Atlanta. We brought him in for a couple innings in an extra inning game. So you have to know who the guys that can come in, because most everyday players, they fool around with knuckleballs and curveballs during warm-ups. So if they can just throw strikes, you throw them out there when you run out of pitchers. And then the worst thing about it, Dee and Beth and everybody, is that sometimes the next day's starter has to be called on to go out there and pitch in an extra inning game, and that throws your whole rotation off.
Oh, yeah.
That happens a lot, too. All of a sudden, he's sitting there in his, his warm-up suit and his sneakers, and you're like, hey, go put your uni on, you're getting in the game. And those guys are all bummed out.
So how many pitchers did they go through last night?
Oh, God, I don't even know. I haven't read the box score, but it's probably about 12, 14 pitchers. I haven't even looked at it.
We do the same thing here with morning show producers. Sometimes, we run out of guys to host, and Nick, get in there, take the show.
Yeah, that's right.
So I guess we won't be seeing Knobloch on the mound, though. All right. So Beth is dying to hear about. Now, do you say Porsche or do you say Porsche?
You know what, D? It doesn't matter.
It goes just as fast, doesn't it, Rob?
Yeah, it's damn fast. And excuse me, I actually asked the dealer when I was at the dealer, and he said, "You call it a Porsche. You know, when you're driving around and people are looking at it, it doesn't matter what you call it. They're just going to say, ooh, that's a nice car."
So is this true?
Yeah.
I heard you guys yesterday talking about this. Are you really looking for one?
No, I already bought one.
You did?
Yeah, I drove it to work today.
Hey, bring on the bitches!
Okay, I assume it's black.
Yes, it's black and black leather. It's a 911 Carrera.
Ah, the best kind.
And, you know, it flies. I had it out last night, and, yeah, it's got a little giddy up to it.
Now, the wife, you were saying that the wife didn't seem happy, but is she...
The wife was happy when she drove it for about an hour and a half.
I'll bet she was.
I said to her after dinner, I said, "I'll clean up the kitchen. You go out for a ride." Hour and a half later, she comes cruising through the door. Hey, that's a pretty nice car.
What's that? We got a little cruising music for you right here. A little low rider.
Low rider.
All right. Well, you deserved it, bro. You deserve it. So, now next question is the NFL draft tomorrow.
Yes.
Big day.
Yes.
How things looking? The Chargers got the #1 draft pick.
They've been playing this little posturing game with Michael Vick and saying that they're not going to sign him and stuff like that. You know what? If you don't sign this guy and he turns out to be a Hall of Famer like Steve Young, you're just crazy. I mean, they signed Ryan Leaf a few years ago to a lot of money, and they're worried about spending $15 million on a signing bonus. So, you know, they look at some of the former blunders, but you can't live in the past. I mean, they're talking about I think it's LaDainian Tomlinson, and you know, for me, I need a quarterback, and you've got Doug Flutie out there that's going to play for a couple of years, and Michael Vick has not played a lot of college ball. He hadn't taken a lot of snaps, but you get him in snaps in practice, you get the guy out there in scrimmages and stuff, you get him in preseason games, you get him in the end of games that you're winning, because I think Flutie's going to win a lot of ball games, and then you build around Vick for the future. But you know, to say over money and to say that you blundered in the past and you're not going to draft this guy would be ludicrous. He could turn out to be the next Steve Young.
So I think you stand a bigger chance of looking foolish by not picking him up than you do letting him go and he's not very good or something like that. You know what I mean? I mean, I think that if he turns out, like you said, to be a Hall of Famer, they will never live that down. If they buy him up for $15 million, obviously, a signing bonus, and he doesn't do all that good, they're not going to look like a-holes. I think they got to cover their asses.
Yeah, I mean, you have to roll the dice, and you have to take a guy that's this talented. He is so talented, and I think people forget how talented he is because they haven't been watching him play every day. It's kind of like out of sight, out of mind. You haven't seen all his highlights in the last couple of days, so you're forgetting how talented this guy is. But you know, you think about this guy's got a great arm. He could be a running back in the NFL. He's a tough kid, and you got to draft the kid first. He's that good, and you know, don't mess with his head with all the money issues. Just pay the kid the money. You got the money, or you wouldn't be running an NFL franchise. And you know, hope for the best down the road, because I think he's going to turn out to be an awesome quarterback.
Now, will you please? We can't seem to get this through the Nick. He just sent me a message. Aikman's available. Will you tell him it's over?
Come on, he's still the best.
Nick, let it go. Here's a guy, Rob Dibble. He's professional. Will you please tell Nick it is over? Aikman's history.
It's over, Johnny. Available to be a broadcaster. Yes, he is.
See, that's not fair.
Not to be a football player.
Rob, you know how important playoff experience is, and that guy's got the best record in the playoffs. I would take him up in a second. I think
Go Whalers!
These NFL owners are being ridiculous right now because they have the best quarterback out there looking for a job in broadcasting. It makes me sick.
You know what, Nick? He's about one more hit away from being a Jello brain.
Then he could produce this show.
There's always that.
And I was just handed a slip of paper, D. 14 pitchers were used last night. 7 for the Yankees and 7 for the Blue Jays.
Wow.
We have people that are sharp. They don't want to see me screw up on radio.
They almost had to pitch Knobloch. Almost had to bring him in. It was that close. It was that close.
I think it was either Don Zimmer or Knobloch. They had Tim warming up.
Rob Dibble, everybody. Rob, have a great weekend, pal. We'll talk.